Contact. Hey guys, Jim Bounds at Motorhome Rehab Ranch. Did yours start up like that? Tech. But did you see the alternator? That's what I wanted you to see. That is a 200 amp Delco alternator on our original brackets. Yeah. So I'll tell you what, guys, we've been waiting for a long time for this. Let me get rid of this artifact here, and let's sit down and talk. Thanks for spending a few minutes with me. I think this will be time well spent. Does that look good? Well, guys, we've been working on this one for a long time. Ranch hand Chad, you're awesome. He's been working on this for a while. And for all you guys that want more Powa, that is a get your pens and paper out now, because we're going to be talking a little bit. Our alternator is called a 12SI. So if you go to your rebuilder, they're going to work on a 12SI, one single wire and all that. The alternator you just saw is a 21SI. It was for over-the-road tractor trailers and what have you. If you look at your original alternator, here it is. You see here right in the middle, there's two cases. Right in the middle, there's just a little 1/8-inch spot here that has some of the metal of the alternator in it. I'll show you again in a minute. But that alternator has, oh gosh, a good 1 inch of it. But it's the same diameter. Okay? It's pretty slick. And I tell you, you say, well, is this something you can do? Gentlemen, I did it with that apparatus on. I can do that. You can do that. All right? So let's talk a little bit about this. Here, and all these pictures will be at the bottom of the Patreon page. All right. So here is our alternator compartment with the alternator out. Now, you have, and if you don't have this bracket comes off the back of the alternator and goes down to the head. A lot of folks will leave this off. What happens is, if your alternator, when you accelerate, your alternator torques down and pulls forward. This bracket is the one that you need to keep it from pulling forward. If you have an alternator belt slowing off all the time and you don't have this bracket, booyah, you know the problem. All right? The other bracket we took out of this is this bracket. This is an adjuster bracket that goes into the back of the alternator. You know, the one that's got the bolt in it that goes into the aluminum case that everybody strips out, right? We don't need this. The new alternator, here you go. Here's the alternator. Double pulley. You can see the difference right here. It's deeper. Okay? All right. Swing bolt's the same. The adjuster bolt on the front is the same. And he supplies a new rear bracket to replace this one. Awesome deal. Plus, you know how you go to tighten the alternator and you shove a pry bar in there, hold it up and tighten the bolts up and stuff? Well, Chad came up with something, and I would officially call him a steely-eyed missile man. He's got an adjuster bracket here. You use a half-inch wrench. I'll show it to you when it's in. You put this little bracket that he came up with into it. Oh, come on. You know, you touch something in your screen and it goes crazy. He set up this little bracket adjustment here that sets up, yeah, come on in, take a look. It's got this cute little bracket he machines here and this stud, and he makes an adjuster. Fantastic. Comes with the kit. Now, what Chad's going to offer. Chad's one of the ranch hands. And by the way, you guys that are going to be at the International Rally coming up this weekend, Chad, look him up. He's going to be at Creekwood Farm RV Park, spot number 44. He's going to be coming in Friday, probably by Friday by 7 p.m. And he is going to have 10 sets of the brackets to make this, plus 3 complete alternators. If you guys have an alternator shop near you that will rebuild alternators, you can have a 21 SI produced in a 1-wire configuration, and it will have a double pulley on it, the whole 9 yards from your local builder. That'll save you all kinds of shipping, and you know about that. And Chad will offer the full bracket set to put in a 21 SI in your coach for $175. If you don't have any alternator companies or anything like that, the full kit with a new rebuilt 21 SI 1-wire alternator with the brackets, pulleys, the whole 9 yards for $500. And the modification, like I said, I did it. I think you can do it. It's a very exciting option. Here's a picture. Again, when you see the pics on the video, you'll see that here's the bracket that he provides. It goes down to the original bolt, the original 11/16 nut right there. You can see it comes down right there. Plenty of room. Yes, it's about 1 inch deeper, but it misses the valve cover and everything. Here you go. Here's a picture of his. See, I've got a 1/2 inch socket on there, and it'll just tighten that belt up, and it's going to be tightening a double belt up, so it's a very, very cool thing. But guys, if you're going to be going into solar and you want to have the maximum output while you're driving the coach, you want to get as much charge as you can out of it, this is a 200 amp. Now they make it in 160, 200, and I believe you said a 240 or 260 amp configuration. The big thing is you saw the size of it. So it's much less likely to overheat, right? He has a 2-gauge cable coming off the 1-wire alternator. You can send some Powa. Comes with it. Belts are $22 a piece. So $175 is a super, super price for all the brackets. So if you can get one of the alternators built, this is a wonderful deal. The belts that we use is, now your original belt is a 75/70. We went with a 75/80 Gates. He's also going to have available, if you want, a 95/90 Gates, which is a little wider belt. Depends on how your pulley configuration is. But the belts come with his kit. You can see here on my Phytech readout, fired it up, we had 13.6 fired, turned on headlights and everything. Went down 0.2 of a volt and then came back up 0.3. So it's the regulator inside the alternator is doing its thing. Double belt, twin belts. Fired it up, no power steering squeal on full. Of course, if you turn it full and hammer it, it's going to squeal. But under normal condition, left to right movement, no alternator, no belt squeal on your power steering. Your air conditioner, whether you have a whether you have a original A6 or whether you have one of the Sandons, no problem. Doesn't interfere with it at all. This is the kit. He's got the bracket. Oops. Bracket, new swing bolt. There's a spacer that you'll need to do, and then here's his adjuster part. 2-gauge cable. We're also putting a ground wire cable on it too, because I mean you got 200 amps possible coming in. You got 200 amps that could possibly go out. So we put an additional ground cable on this thing. This has been in the works for a good year. This is one of the things that Motorhome Rehab Ranch, when all of us get together, there's a lot of smart people out there. If we can get our heads together and to get together some things we want to do, many, many things are possible. You may saw last month that Ranch hand Will came up with some new front motor mounts. They're being sold through Applied and through GMC Motorhome. These alternators in this alternator bracket kit, you can give Chad a call directly. Eventually, Applied and Sirum will probably offer these. If you want to give Chad a call, his phone number is 423-737-4684. Go by and see him Saturday. Maybe we'll call this the first Motorhome Rehab Ranch Rendezvous. Go by. Maybe I'll give you a call. We'll do a Zoom or something like that. I wish I could have gone, but with all this stuff that I'm going through here right now, this works out real well. We can all get together. We can have a good time, and we can realize how many people and how much interest there is in keeping our GMCs on the road and doing new things. And, it makes me feel good that Motorhome Rehab Ranch has become a great source for information, a platform for everybody to get together. And this year, you're going to see some other parts come through for some other ranch hands are coming up with. And become a ranch hand. If you haven't been on Patreon yet, if you're getting this on YouTube, that's wonderful. I love it. But take your Google and go to patreon.com, patreon.com. Okay. When you go there, they'll have, like most websites have a search block. Well, Patreon calls it Find a Creator. So go up the top, hit Find a Creator, and type in Motorhome space Rehab space. Actually, if you look up, you'll already be there. But Motorhome Rehab Ranch. Come up, click on it. That's our front page. On the front page, if you look at there are 3 words, collections at the bottom, small letters. Click on that. You wouldn't think anything happened. Click on that and scroll down. Look for alternators, and you'll see this video. You'll see some other videos too about the original design, or the original concept of one-wire alternator and the Simlac ACR 160 and all that stuff having to do with updating your electrical system. That is what I want Motorhome Rehab Ranch to offer you guys, and to be something that you can find the information you want. You find the information, then you give me a call. Ranch hands have my phone number, and we can keep your motorhome running. That's what it's about, guys. Well, look, I appreciate the time you spent here. This is an exciting thing. I'm so pleased that Chad took the time. And by the way, Chad's he drank the punch. He's got his GMC in great shape. You'll see it when you see him at the rally. He also has a 64 Chevy panel truck that's a pizza truck. Maybe we'll have a rendezvous rally and Chad will feed us. Won't that be cool? All right. Look, people ask how I'm doing. Today was a big day. Today was the first chemo, and head's not dead. Thank you. Let's keep this motorhome going. What do you think? All right.